looking at.
It
This
is
is gonna
a
be
great
it.
topic. It's a very challenging
Clash of the
topic, and
Titans.
I'm glad that the education committee
Metaphysa
raised
arachnoid
and
cyst.
picked this
From
specific
some
one.
dumb fuck,
Middle cranial
January
fossa
29th.
arachnoid cyst
Was this
needs to
year?
be operated or not, unless there is progressive symptoms.
1 year ago.
And this is still remains quite controversial.
Oh yes,
Some
let's hear
say
the
yes,
controversy.
operate proactively, while others may say just wait until what happens.
Oh yes,
Now, we
let's
do
just
have
wait and see.
wonderful two
Let's wait and
speakers.
see until
First,
she's 50
George
so that we
Jarrow
can
is
see how
professor
much
of
her brain has split
and
apart
pediatrics
in her
at
cerebellum.
Johns Hopkins Hospital.
Oh yes,
And
let's get
he's
another
now
dipshit.
joined in
So sorry I have to be that cunt, but you know what?
Johns Hopkins.
My brain is on fire and it hurts so bad right now.
Direct Institute for Brain Protection.
Oh yes, I'm sure he protected him very well.
Pediatric neuroscience program. And he's also leading this neuroscience team, but also he's a physician in chief at
Too bad.
hospital.
Too bad.
He was
Too bad he doesn't understand more about his
the fellowship with
whatchamacallit, his patients.
Phillips and Rick Albert. And he has been stay on in NYU.
Suck his dick some more.
To Baltimore and now in Tampa, Florida. And his main interest is
Oh, where's the women? Oh, of course. There are no women. Oh, that's Dr. Mulholland. She's in Pasadena. Thank God I have a woman now.
The distinct, the presenter is Giuseppe Pepe Cinari, and he's from Naples. He's a native Naples Italian, and he graduated from University Federico II of Naples, and he was trained for his residency under Professor Faust De Andre, and then after that he took extra training at Neckar in Paris, and is under the direction of Professor late Professor Jean-Francois Hirsch, and he spent there as for 6 years, and subsequently he actually 8 years.
This is an error.
Returned to Italy in the first Santa Maria in Terni, Italy.
Santa Claus.
In 2007, he moved back
2007.
to Naples.
No, 2003, I was already doing Arachnoid Cyst Foundation stuff. Talking to, at least by that point, 50 people.
Children's Hospital in Naples.
Oh, pro bono. Me too.
We have a wonderful two distinguished person, particularly Pepe.
Oh, how distinguished.
Now,
Let's hear their bullshit about how you leave arachnoid cysts alone. Oh, yes, you can't do surgery on them because that would make sense. And that would hurt. The surgery is going to be worse because we don't know what we're doing. Don't operate because I'm too stupid. I'm too stupid to do a spinal tap.
So, George goes first, and then
I'm too stupid to understand all the symptoms of having brain damage because being psychotic isn't enough. Having, cognitive issues isn't enough.
I remained in the hospital for 1 hour after the vaccine to make sure I wasn't breaking into an anaphylaxis.
Yeah, I'm glad you're alive. So after vaccine, right?
So I don't know whether somebody's introduced Tad, but I just take a few minutes to introduce Tad to the audience. Not that Tad, Tomita, requires an introduction to any pediatric neurosurgeon on this planet. But Tad is a man who I think his life is of many parallels. He comes from a family of military people.
Oh, yes, me too.
Decided to do medicine. Second, very interestingly enough, he arrived
I
in the United
decided
States.
to
I don't
be
know
a
whether he
writer.
chose the date, but I remember from his ISBN address that he arrived in the United States on the 4th of July. Was that
Oh,
a
on
sheer
the 4th of
coincidence? I don't
July.
know. But thereafter, he's never had to look back in his life. And of course, he's done lots of great things at the Children's Memorial Hospital in Chicago. You know that he's a professor. You know that he was the president of the ISBN. He, in fact, held the position that I hold now at the ISBN before he became president. He was chairman of the Education Committee, which is when perhaps I was first introduced to this amazing gentleman, because he's a person who has combined the clinical achievements with
Sandeep, you are muted.
Yes. Let him be muted. Sandeep.
Sandeep, I think some.
He's a bad doctor. You don't know what he's doing.
On your side.
You can't help it. You're dumb.
Thank you very much for your introduction. And I think for the sake of the time, let's start Dr. George Jala's presentation.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Sandeep. And you'll see, Pepe, welcome. I guess I get to go first, and I get to speak about the topic of male cranial
Best to
process
leave
fissure,
alone, because
arachnoid
I'm
cyst.
dumb.
Best to leave alone. I think,
George Zorro,
I might
John
have
Hopkins.
advantage on this, Pepe, so thank you for allowing me to
Hashtag you,
choose the
dumbass.
conservative route for the
Let's be conservative. Let's not notice the
lesions
symptoms
that,
because we're
are
too dumb
presented to
to
the
understand what the
And I
lesions
do want to
cause
thank,
long
Cindy, as well
term.
as the
We
ISPN
can't
for
see the
inviting me
potholes
and hosting
because we
these,
don't understand
educational webinars,
that
'cause
there's
I find them
CNS
extremely interesting,
diseases,
and I've learned a
and you
lot
get multiple
from them.
sclerosis and
So
white
I think,
matter
as a
disease.
little
I
background,
guess you haven't learned
for everyone,
enough.
we all know that they are benign. They're not neoplastic. They're extraaxial. So why should you even operate on them at best?
Because
These
they
lesions are
cause
built
long-term
below
problems,
CSF.
you dumb fuck.
And the majority, 3/4 of them are found in children, more likely to be in boys than men. A lot of times, they're found on imaging studies, whether it be CAT scan or MRI, for an incidental finding.
How did I know?
After a little trivial head fall, are referred
It's trivial
to
head
our
fall.
offices, and what do we do?
My mom had a car
We all
accident,
recognize that,
and she hit my head so hard against the thing that she said, "Oh, Kathy just hit her head."
The precursor to the peanut
No
matter
big
and the
deal.
arachnoid. There's some pulsations that go through this minute primitiva and separate incompletely and form these arachnoid cysts. So, what are the treatment options, right? Observation, we could always recommend just serial observation if we're going to do that. How often do they need to be seen? Surgery, if you're going to do surgery for these asymptomatic cysts,
make sure
what
you
are the
know how to
approaches?
do it,
Is it a
because you can't be
craniotomy
dumb.
demonstration? Should we do an endoscopic approach? Or should we do a
Craniotomy
diversion
has been the
procedure?
best so far,
to something shunt
because
or
you
something
don't want
other
to deal
where,
with it
some
again.
people have
It
reported,
can pop right out.
aspirating or draining these cysts. So
If it falls
there are
right
many
out of your
options
head,
to manage
get
these
it
benign
right out of your
approaches.
head.
Historically,
It can fall
I
out
think we
of the
have to go back to
frontal
the
lobe.
early 80s when
Let's go
the
to the
Sylvian Fisher
80s.
arachnoid cysts were
This
first
is mine.
reported, and the Galassi
This is
classification
me.
of the different types of Sylvian Fisher. And this is
Amazing
one of the first
how I was
reports in
able
the
to
early
go through
80s,
so
looking at
and be
seven,
made fun of so
looking at 31
horrifically.
cases, 7 of which had, at that time, CT matrizumide. You can see the MRI above as well as the CT dye study. In 1988, they expanded their numbers to include 77 cases that were treated surgically, and that the authors again, proposed their classification based upon the size.
I'm glad they finally classified them. I think anything over a centimeter should be a 3.
Advocating surgery. However, even in that early series, there's a mortality rate of 1%. And when you look at it, a mortality rate, yes, it's low of 1%, but it still is 1% for a benign cystic lesion. It's not as if it's a malignant aggressive brain tumor
Oh no.
or not. So really,
Just give it time.
having just one death in my mind is a significant complication. The other is when you look at their complications, you can see that they had significant subdural hematomas, hygromas, intracystic hematomas, and even epidural hematomas following surgery, and that the indication
And then people
for surgery,
recommend epidurals.
just included a cranial deformity in
yes.
some, which in my mind
Love that deformity.
asymptomatic. So more than
Oh,
half
that's
of
just
them
asymptomatic.
were asymptomatic in their early series. So
That's because
I
I'm
think
dumb.
the ISPN
I don't
actually
understand
did
all the
a survey
symptoms.
back in Ezio
I
and
don't understand it.
Shapiro did
Them
survey
hitting their
of
heads on the
the
floor
community in 2008
is because it
looking
feels
at
good.
a almost 3-year-old boy with a type 2 left Sylvian Fisher arachnoid cyst, and they presented different scenarios for the participants, and they had they have 45 senators that responded to this, and the question was, if this child was asymptomatic, what would the recommendation be? If the child had headaches, or if the child had seizures,
Oh, just
what
the
would the
headaches.
recommendation? And
Just leave them
clearly,
alone.
if this was an incidental
Oh,
finding,
wow.
83/4
here.
to 80%, 75 to 80% recommended observation alone.
Only
so
observation.
incidental finding, no
Because we're
symptoms.
dumb.
Less than
Oh, there's no
20%
symptoms
recommended
because
surgery.
we're too
If
stupid
there
to
are
know what
headaches,
they are.
about 40% recommended surgery.
Because headaches
Seizures,
aren't
another
enough.
30% would recommend surgery.
Seizures
and
aren't
psychomotor
enough.
retardation was 30%.
Oh, yes, and
So
retardation isn't
incidentally
enough.
asymptomatic,
Let's not stop that
80% of
symptom
surgeons would
as
not
fast as
advocate for
possible.
surgery. Then their recommendation was, whether you followed it or not.
I know that
accordingly.
retardation was part of
So,
my
again,
understanding.
If it's an incidental finding, how do you follow it? When do you do the scan?
It's not an incidental
and
finding, you
how
dumb
often
fuck.
should they be seen?
Incidental
I
means,
think,
look what I
back
happen to
in
find.
2008,
You're
we
the
fast
dumb
forward
fuck that
to
says, oh, it's no
2015,
big deal.
And we looked
I hate
at
neurosurgeons.
this paper that came
They're so
out
fucking
saying, look,
stupid.
we need stricter indications for the recommendation for
You
surgery.
need to understand.
They looked at, in 11 years, they looked at 75 patients, and again, this was a mix of both Sylvian Fisher as well as other locations, knowing that predominant location was the Sylvian Fisher. Looking at these patients over 11 years, 75 patients, what they found was that surgery was unsatisfactory, and when they looked at it,
So it feels like
talk
shit.
about what the outcome was. Let's just
Because you
look
don't
at the
always feel
complications.
right
And
afterwards.
you can see here,
I know I
the
certainly
complication
didn't.
Profile is high for if one does surgery, including subdural fluid collections in 25%, a cranial nerve palsy or temporary weakness in up to 10%, spinal fluid leak, which 5%, a significant hemorrhage in 5%, and an infection in 3%. I mean, when you add up all these complications, looking at this series, I think the results, if you look at it, is, there is a significant risk profile when you operate on these children, especially the ones that have no symptoms. Well, another study shortly thereafter in 2016 looked at it at the long-term study, looking at these, again, children. They looked at 27 children, and they all had they had symptoms, some of which were headaches, some had macrocephaly, hydrocephalus, and of these 27, 22 underwent microsurgical resection, and 5 went endoscopic penetration. They followed them, and for about mean follow about 9 years. And what they said that 77% were improved in at least one symptom, but subjective symptoms remained in 60%.
Yeah, because you didn't get them fast enough.
So, again, their findings, similar to the prior study, was that our findings support a restrictive attitude to surgery for intracranial arachnoid cysts in the absence of objectively verified symptoms and signs or obstruction Searching the CSF pathway.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. David Sandberg. I am a pediatric neurosurgeon. I'm the director of pediatric neurosurgery at Children's Memorial Hermann Hospital, as well as the University of Texas.
Doctor, where did it go? Clash of the Titans.
It is okay to be so stressed and overwhelmed that you feel like you need to talk to someone about it. And by that, I mean going to therapy.
How do I go
Lately,
back?
the transition...
Clash of the Titans.
Structure the CSF pathways. So if we're going to talk about asymptomatic children, how about the neurocognitive effects of these middle cranial fossa cysts?
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about them cognitive defects. Hold on. Let me see if I can pause this. Hopefully I can pause it. Otherwise, I'll be right back.